Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Municipal Code of the Village of Pleasantville,
the Municipal Code of the Village of Pleasantville,
and that I will faithfully discharge my duties
that I will faithfully discharge my duties
as Village Justice for the Village Justice Court
as Village Justice for the Village Justice Court,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations and welcome.
Trustees, Judge Curley, everyone here who makes the village work, and all attendees, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad to be here. First, I'd like to thank my family, my wife Stacy, my son James, my daughter Alexandra, my mom Justa is here, my brother Simon. Each of you tests, shapes, guides, and calms me. Yes, calms me, even James. I love you. I'd like to thank my friends, our friends here in Pleasantville. I'm tempted to say that they did almost anything I asked of them during the campaign, but it didn't actually work quite that way. What happened actually was a little more surprising. I told them I was running for Village Justice. I told them why I was doing it, why I wanted to do it, why I was pursuing it, and how I was going to do it. And then you just helped. You gave me advice, some of it unsolicited, most of it pretty good. You told your friends, you made introductions, you asked for lawn signs. I barely asked, you just did it. I'm not quite sure why, but I'll never forget it. This was an interesting campaign. Many people don't know we have a court. Many don't really know that we have a justice necessarily. They don't realize it's an elected position. It's been so rarely contested. It last contested, I believe, 12 years ago. Before that, I don't know when, sometime last century. So I saw all of this as a welcome challenge. I worked to educate people about the court and about our legal system. I tried to instill trust that our court will continue to be competent and fair, to help people understand why any of this matters, why they should care, why they should vote. I think those messages resonated, helped along in large part by the fact that our village court has been so well run. And for that, we owe an incredible gratitude to Judge Curley. And with that, I think we also owe great thanks to Judge Collins, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, and to Court Clerk Stephanie Tim Austin and Kristen Serace, who are here. Thank you. And I so look forward to working with all of you. So the campaign did have its funny and very memorable moments for me as I spoke to so many people across the village. There were people who wanted to talk about something that has nothing to do with the justice position. Mr. Mayor, I think you can guess what it was. Development is a big topic. There was the woman who praised...
I didn't run for justice.
There was the woman who quite literally praised the Lord after learning I was not there visiting her to tell her about a new assisted living facility at the Methodist Church property. There was the guy who answered the door, and as I was explaining to him why I was running for Village Justice, he's standing there all while clouds of some kind of substance was wafting out of his front door. There was the woman who wanted assurance that I would carry on Judge Curley's ability to see through people's BS. There was the couple who told me about their ongoing many landlord-tenant litigations that they've been dealing with as property owners, which led to a very intense discussion about the takings clause in the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution. And there was a gentleman who wanted to see if I might help him sue a certain former ex-president and that ex-president's son for a real estate deal gone bad. I'm going to let you guess what he was talking about. But the more important takeaway from all of this was this. We live in a wonderful place. Not everyone agrees on everything, but I think we all want very similar things in life. The campaign helped confirm for me that if you treat people with respect, much more often than not, they'll treat you with respect as well. I think all of this will be valuable to me as I take on the role of Village Justice. I'm truly humbled by the election results. Everyone had a choice, multiple choices actually. You could vote or you could stay home. You could vote for me or you could vote for some other very good candidates. I'm humbled that so many came out to vote and that you chose me. And so as I prepare to take this office, I do have a few other things on my mind, knowing there are others from outside the village borders who are watching me. First, I'm thinking about the Albanian American community. I don't know how many other Albanian American judges there have been in New York or anywhere else in the country, actually. Maybe some, maybe none. But I know the response I've gotten since news of my election went out to the community has been filled with pride, and I feel it too. My parents immigrated to the United States. My brothers and I were born here. At home, we spoke the Albanian language, listened to the music, and grew up dancing in a church-organized folk dance ensemble. We learned about the persecution that my parents and their ancestors and our people faced in their homelands, the struggles that led many of them to come to the United States. The injustice that my immediate family faced helped shape my perspective, and it was an impetus for my going to law school. I and my brothers faced the challenge that so many first-generation Americans have faced and continue to face, and I know I'm not the only one in this room right now who's grappled with this. How do you honor the old country and its customs while fitting into the new? The answer to that was made obvious to me by my absolutely brilliant parents. They saw through the fog and knew the quintessentially American values to instill in us. You study hard, and then you study some more, and then a little bit more. You work hard. If there's an opportunity, you take it. And you try to find joy in whatever you're doing and make that joy grow. I try to follow those values, and I know that's why I'm here. Second, I'm thinking about my father. The day we moved into our home in Pleasantville, I drove up from the city ahead of Stacy and our little kids, ahead of the moving truck. I got the keys, took a quick stroll through the house, and then came back out, and my father was there. My father, his name was John Vukelj. He pulled into the circular driveway. He was our first visitor. He wasn't in the greatest of health at the time, but he got in his car and drove. He wanted to be there. Before we went in, we stood in the driveway in the sun and just looking at the house, and I remember saying something to him about how crazy it was that Stacy and I had just bought this 200-year-old house. And he kind of agreed it was crazy, but then he reminded me of those quintessential values. He said something like this: you put in the work for this, and you like this crazy old house, so it's the right house for you. You saw the opportunity and you took it. He was so proud that we'd become homeowners here. I can only imagine what he would have said about me throwing myself at this opportunity to run for justice, to serve our community. I know he's watching now, and I know he's very proud. And third, I'm thinking about my brother Nick. Nick never got to see us move to Pleasantville. But I know he would have loved spending time here, particularly with his niece and nephew. Nick was a historian with a special interest in the Civil War. He would have loved knowing that our home was on land owned by Moses and Esther Pierce, great supporters of the Underground Railroad, who themselves took the enslaved in their home and kept them safe. Nick had a strong sense of right and wrong, so he would have loved this mission that I'm taking now as village justice. Yes, to apply and follow the law, of course, but so much of this role will be about understanding people and why they do what they do, and finding solutions that are reasonable, fair, and constructive. I've got a lot of support to guide me on that mission from our community, from the excellent groundwork set for years by Judge Curley, Judge Collins, and our court clerks. But whatever I do, I'll be thinking about my brother Nick, and I know he'll be watching. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all. 33 years?
I sit it down. Yeah, sit it down. Another one.
Lawyers.
Just beginning of what we all know well. When Stephanie tells you to do something.
Should I go listen up? I'm not supposed to sign anything without reading it, but I trust you.
All right, congratulations all. You're welcome to enjoy our dry assessment.